Okay, we're gonna do 2-point perspective boxes. First thing we need to do is draw our horizon line. We're gonna put 2 points on it. One here, one here. In this area. That's where our 2-point boxes are going to be in this area. It's still 1 point. Has to be between the 2 points to be in 2-point. So this line is perpendicular to the horizon line. And then the sides go towards the vanishing point. So this is our front corner. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that we're going to put the side corners as also perpendicular lines. Now to do the back of the box, as if you could see through it, and go from this corner to this corner, or this vanishing point, because if we went to this vanishing point, it would be outside the box. And that doesn't help us. We know it's going to be inside the box. Where they cross is the very back corner. So now we have the completed bottom of the box. And we're going to do the top of the box the same way. Make sure this is the perpendicular line as well. So there's the back of the box. So to do this one, it happens the exact same way. Start with a perpendicular line. This one's going to be a smaller box. So I'm always lining up with my vanishing points when I'm doing the side lines. Now this line has to be perpendicular. So does this line. So even, like, I think these are almost exactly lined up, but need to make sure that they are. Because if it's not exact, then the bottom and top of my box, to make that very back corner, won't line up. Notice it's lined up with this vanishing point over here. This one's lined up with this vanishing point over here. Same thing for the top. Line up with the corner, line up with the vanishing point. And then we can make that very back line right there. Okay, now to make the two in worm's eye view, so it's going to be above the horizon line. I'll do one over here really close to this vanishing point, because it makes one side look very dramatically going into the distance. So I'm making sure to line it up with my vanishing point, the end of my line. So now I can put those side corners with a perpendicular line. See, that one wasn't exactly lined up. Now I can do the bottom. So on this one it was dotted line, but it still went to the vanishing point. This one, since I can see the bottom, it's just going to be a solid line towards the vanishing point. So I know this is where that corner is, so the top is going to be inside the box. So I'm putting my X-ray goggles on again. I'm going to draw a dotted line from this corner towards the vanishing point. And the opposite corner towards the vanishing point. Now I can put this last line in. Should line up there. Okay, let's do the other bird's eye. We'll do it kind of here in the middle. Or worm's eye, since it's above the horizon. Drawing these side lines to my vanishing points. Now these lines are perpendicular. Now if they're not exactly perpendicular, that's where you're going to get some issues with the back line not lining up. So again, I can see the bottom of the box, so this is just another solid line. I'm going to do the same for the top. But these are going to be dotted lines because from this perspective we cannot see inside. That's about right there. Okay, now I'm going to do these two on the bottom. So these are bird's eye view because you're going to be able to see the top. So let me put this almost exactly on this vanishing point. See how dramatic that side looks going towards it? So I don't want to connect them like that. So it's going to be wrong. I need to make sure it's perpendicular. Makes that corner hard to see. It's right there. Okay, so for this one, we're going to be able to see the top of the box. So this is going to be a solid line. Still lines up with my vanishing point. Okay, now this is going to be a dotted line because it's going to be the bottom of the box we can't see. And this has to be another perpendicular line. Hope y'all can see that okay. One more 2-point box before we're done. Start with that perpendicular line. Go to each of the vanishing points. Connect it with a perpendicular line on each side. You can make the top. So this is below the horizon line, so it's in bird's eye. Now we're going to do the bottom with a dotted line because we can't actually see it. And those 2-point boxes, that's it. We got 6 of them. So just to be a refresher, on one point, they always start with the front face. So the front face is going to be a square, so I'm just going to quickly draw those 3 squares. Or rectangles. Make sure these lines are parallel and perpendicular. Get rid of those extra bits. Okay, so we'll start with the top one, draw all of our lines towards the vanishing point. And then this needs to be a perpendicular line, and this needs to be a parallel line to the horizon line. So now I can do the back that I can't see, the dotted line right here, towards my vanishing point. Again, parallel line to the horizon line, perpendicular line. So we got the back of the box. Same process for this one, just more lines on the inside of the box. Because you can't see the top or the bottom, because it's at eye level. So we're going to have to draw both of these lines with dotted lines. And then this needs to be a parallel line. This needs to be a parallel line. And this is a perpendicular line. See that? Last one. We've made it through. Always making sure to line up with my vanishing points. I'm gonna do my perpendicular line, parallel line, erase those extra bits I don't need. Draw my final line to the vanishing point. Whew. And then parallel line and perpendicular line. Make sure your ruler doesn't slide around on you like mine was, because that didn't quite line up. Alright, so all these boxes are in 2-point because they're in between the 2 points, and all these are in 1 point because they're only by the 1 point. If there was another dot over here, which would be really weird, they would also be in 2 point and make the perspective a little bit different.